In this video, I'm going to be photographing my Caribena Versicolor tarantula. Hello, my name's Stewart Wood and welcome to this video. In this video, we're going to be rehousing my Caribena Versicolor tarantula into a bigger enclosure because he's grown a little bit bigger. So I thought we could take the opportunity to photograph him. So here's the new enclosure. Caribena Versicolor tarantula, he likes a higher enclosure, so that's what we have here. Now I do need some more substrate, but unfortunately with the lockdown I've not been able to get any. So we're just going to use this like a sandy stone type substrate for now and have some artificial flowers. Now the reason I use artificial flowers is because they won't rot and mold in the enclosure, so it makes it a lot easier to maintain it, and the less that I have to maintain it, the better for the spider, because I'm not having to disturb him. Now it is true I am going to have to get him out at a later date and redo the substrate in here. I would like it to be about up here, but unfortunately I can't do that, and I've held off doing this video for quite a while in the hope that I could get hold of some, but unfortunately I've not been able to. I'm just putting these in the enclosure, and they are some vertical structures that he can grab onto. He'll be able to make his web, and if you look here, they like to web up the enclosure up the top because I believe they're arboreal, I believe it's called, that they like to go high in the trees. And with being a young tarantula, he'll feel better not being on the ground in the enclosure. That's a very simple job to do. We've just got again a larger enclosure, a mesh top here, and air holes in the side to give side ventilation into the enclosure. That's all fun and games, but the more interesting thing is the Caribena Versicolor itself. So I've just gotten through doing the video talking about dried leaves and flowers, so we are going to use that same method for the Caribena Versicolor. So I'm going to put this one in here. There we go. And again, we have to match up the background. So again, we've got this background here that matches up quite nicely. You can see the difference between the actual printed version and the dark version that I printed out. Again, you can get these from my website. They are a texture download. They are not a physical background, because some people are getting confused. So let's the background on here now. There we go. We don't know where the spider's going to go. We don't know how it's going to behave, and we got to, you know, alter the setup on the fly depending on what the spider does. Now when handling tarantula or any other spider, the best technique is to try and make yourself seem like you're part of the environment. That way you don't scare the tarantula. So let's get the Caribena out now, and this spider could do with a name. So let's open up the comments below for you to name this Caribena Versicolor tarantula. When it comes to tarantulas, I don't like destroying their homes, but unfortunately in this instance we have no choice because he's getting too big for this enclosure. When I had him, he was only like a little bitty little spider. Now he's about twice the size to 3 times the size. So he's going from this one into this one. That's a lot bigger, a lot more room. And then when he gets a little bit bigger, he will go into an exoterrarium like the gecko has. So unfortunately I'm going to have to break his webbing. I'm still drying out flowers from the last video. They take several days to do dry out. Okay, I can see him. He's down here. If I can convince him to come out, and they're not too hard to get out, all you gotta do is just give him a little bit of a nudge up the backside and they'll soon walk forward. But again, you don't want to spook them, and you don't want to frighten your tarantula. So what I'm going to do now, if you can see on the overhead, I'm going to place the cup so that when he comes out, it will walk onto my arm, and then I won't move. I will just let him walk, and then he'll believe I'm part of the environment. Okay, and he's out. So he's now out. I can now recycle some of the substrate from that and put it into his enclosure. I'm not going to do that in this video because you're going to find it really boring. We want to get onto the photography part of this video. So what I'm going to do now is, unfortunately, he's not moving. He's just keeping still there. I was hoping he would move. So we're going to have to act quickly. So let's set this up in a rough position, and what I'm thinking is he'll come onto the leaf here and then move upwards. And my camera settings are f11 +2 on the exposure compensation on the flash. I've got 1/60th on my shutter speed. That's to increase the frame rate in my EVF. And ISO 400. So let's put him on here now. Give him a nudge up the backside. There you go. And again, just like with jumping spiders, we're going to wait, let him settle down a little bit. Okay, let's leave him like that. Put the background in place. I'm just eyeballing him. Okay, now with this being a bigger spider, we're not quite going to be on 1:1 macro. I'm going to go to 1:2 macro. That's half life size, but it's still classed as close-up photography. So let's take a picture now. I'm actually at 0.75 to 1, so we're just below 1:1 life size. I'm going to lower my flash by 1 stop. Take another picture. That's better. That's much better. Now, these are called tarantula feeding tongs. They're very useful even for jumping spiders, particularly for cleaning out their enclosures. I'm just going to give them a little bit of a nudge. There we go. I really ought to have my Lazy Susan out for this, to be honest with you. But unfortunately, my Lazy Susan is buried under a load of stuff, so... And the other advantage of having a desk like this as well is I'm able to get the camera below the actual desk level, so we can shoot upwards to the tarantula. Okay, I can't see his eyes, unfortunately. So in this case, I'm going to shoot downwards. Not the best situation, but I want to see his eyes. You see the background is slightly missing on the bottom left corner, but we can remove that in Photoshop. Now, normally this spider is actually walking around, so for some reason he's not playing for the video. And you can see he's not aggressive at all. He's not striking, he's not trying to have a go at me. And when they bunch up like that with their legs, that means they're actually comfortable. So unlike with a jumping spider, when they settle down, their legs are spread out and they're quite comfortable. With a tarantula, they spread inwards, which makes for a bit of a horrible photo. So you have to try and just get them to move to get a decent photo. And he settled down again. Oh God. He really is comfortable. You can only see his eyes when he's actually moving, so when he settles down and gets comfortable, that's not what I actually want. Okay, no, okay, okay. it doesn't want to play ball. Fortunately, here are some shots I took earlier. These images have been edited in Lightroom using my macro presets. So again, he's a very, very colourful spider. So the only thing we've got left to do now is to transfer him to his new enclosure. So let's do that now. You don't get your hand and pick up the spider, you're going to get bitten if you do that. I'm going to place my hand down, make it seem like it's part of the environment, and then just give him a quick nudge. And he won't want to attack me because he wants to get away from whatever is nudging him. You can see there, he's perfectly calm. And he is a very nice spider. I mean, the colours on him are beautiful. Very, very nice. So we're going to place him now on the top of this enclosure. So he's in there now. Just got to tell him to go down and in because we don't want to trap his feet. And there we go. He's gone. And now he's in his new enclosure. So there you go. That is my Caribena Versicolor rehoused and photographed at the same time. I love taking opportunities when I'm rehousing them to photograph them, because that way I'm not doubling up on stressing them out by photographing them on a separate day to actually rehousing them. And what should I name the spider? Let me know in the comments below. We have a name for our new jumping spider, and that is Rose, because we was photographing it on rose petals, but this one does need a name. So let me know again in the comments below. Subscribe, comment, click that bell icon if you want to get more updates of when my videos go live. But for now, I want to thank you for getting to the end of this video. My name's Stewart Wood, and I'll see you on the next project. In this video, I'm going to be rehousing my Caribena Versicolor tarantula. So we get the Caribbean Versicolor is a when you're handling tarantulas, what I have been told and what I found is the next step up from this enclosure is a full size terror. I haven't got time to mess around with camera settings. I've just got it up as a